Good evening, everyone. As it is wisely said by Elizabeth Edwards, she stood in the storm and when the wind did not blow her way, she adjusted her sails. I welcome you all to the today's webinar, which is focused on cultivating resilience, building mental well-being in women. In today's fast paced world, cultivating resilience and prioritizing mental well being are essential for women to thrive both personally and professionally. And looking at the topic of women from the lens of resilience highlights about how adaptability plays an essential role. As we have the International Women's Day round the corner, this topic becomes very important to delve deeper, for which we have our two eminent speakers with us for today. We have Ms. Lisa Chaudhary, who is a psychologist and have been working with PsychSpace for the past 1.5 years. She has completed her master's from Cotton University. She has been a resource person for various mental health initiatives in order to emphasize on the importance of mental health. Our another speaker for today is Ms. Yeja Chaudhary. Since a young age, she has been passionate about mental health and is recognized for openly sharing her experiences with body image struggles across multiple social media platforms and podcasts. She has done her master's in clinical psychology from Christ University and is currently working as a psychologist in PsychSpace. I'm Pragya Moore, currently in my final year of master's in clinical psychology from Christ University, and I am an intern in PsychSpace. I will be your moderator for today. I warmly welcome both of our speakers.
Thank you
Hello,
so much.
Pragya.
That was a lovely introduction. Thank you so
Yes,
much.
Thank
truly.
you. As we all know that there are multiple role constructs attached to a woman in a society that might hinder with their mental well-being. I would like to ask our speakers if they could relish us with their point on what could be some possible challenges that women face in maintaining mental well-being.
Um, I can go forward with the question,
Yes,
Lisa.
yes,
Can I?
definitely.
Yeah. So, see, the thing with women is like we know that since we are born, there's always different expectations that a baby boy or a baby girl has been given since childhood, right? Due to societal expectations, gender norm, whatever you call it, but there is the presence of the difference in treatment and expectations in our society. So what happens is that when we are child we when we were kids and when we were children, these expectations and gender norms were imposed to us, and we did not understood the outcome of it and the further repercussion that can happen in future. So now when like women when they are grown up and they are working and they are doing, when they have the individual identity, that identity somewhere clashes with the expectations that the society has with them and the gender role that they need to present in front of the society. So obviously like the societal expectations is one of the common challenges like every woman in this era needs to like face. The other thing is also about like I have personally seen that is the gender based discrimination. No matter how educated you are, no matter how big of your position you are, no matter what is your goals and like which position you are in your life, there's always some sort of discrimination has been seen when it comes to gender, especially towards women. It is like automatically defaultly people think that men can do this better. If we talk about in like the work culture, we know about the phenomena of glass ceiling, right? Like even though women can do the same position better or like maybe equally as men, first preference is given to the male always. So in that thing, and in that process, if a woman has been if a woman who is equally passionate, equally well qualified, equally well educated, equally passionate about the same position and the work, and has the ability to work at the same range as a man. But if the preference is given just on the basis of gender to the male, obviously there's gonna be some sort of, mental well-being challenges in the person, in the women. So gender is another definitely a point where, women have to every day, constantly, unconsciously and consciously, have to fight every day. And apart from that, there's another very important thing, like, even if I speak about this thing, even if I speak statistically, uh the body image issue, like the topic that I'm very vocal about, the body image issue is very prevalent in female. No matter what job you do, no matter who you are and what your identity or designation is, there's always an expectations that you need to look good. There's always an expectation, a set societal standard of beauty, that you have to look into a certain way. Let's just say a mother. Okay, like, let's just say a young mother who's like 28 years old, and she had a baby and she's doing wonderful in her career, and due to her pregnancy and everything, her body changed. Now, there's gonna be a lot of, unnecessary comments and unnecessary opinion about people, like, you don't have to work now, you can take care, you need to work on your body, you need to look after your kids. But whereas, like, she even has her own goals and expectations, and her own identity associated with her work, whereas, like, now she had to go through about the change that her body have been through. So even, like, our body plays a very important role into, like, how our mental well-being is associated with our body image. And even research says that, like, if we do a gender comparison, it's always female who is, like, I'm not neglecting the fact that men do not go through body image issue, they definitely do go through. But if we compare both the gender, it's always the women that go through on several level higher than men on body image issue any day. And with along with body image issue, and along with the body this thing, societal standard of beauty, our own reproduction health, our own hormonal health is also something which plays a major, major, major role in our life, and which can also be a very setback to in our career, or let's just say in whatever we are aspiring to be, and whatever in our daily life. If we take a simple example, let's just say menstrual, right? On every month, we everyone goes through it. Now the severity of the pain may vary from women to women, but then again, this is something, a certain amount of discomfort is feel and is been, felt by all women, right? So in that case also, if we ask for a leave, if we ask for certain things, then it's always like, oh, ladki hai isliye मान लो, हाँ ठीक है दे दिया, something like that. And like, people also feel like, um she's a woman, we have to give her a leave. And like, people don't understand the fact that biologically also, and in a hormonal way also, our body can, go through a lot of different changes, and due to which we ask for certain things. And and overall, and when an individual is going through so much of changes, a woman is going through so much of changes, there's definitely going to be some sort of setback mentally, right? And there's going to be some sort of mental health, or like just a mental well-being setback to that person. So yeah, I think societal expectation, gender-based discrimination, body image, and even our own reproduction and like hormonal changes plays a major, major challenge in our day-to-day life. So yes.
Very rightfully said, Gija ma'am. As we all know that there are multiple role constructs, even like that are placed on women by their birth. So they are expected to do a lot from the society, either play a role of a mother, or to play a role of a daughter-in-law, or to play the role of a sister, or to be a working woman at the same time. So there has been a lot of workplace discrimination. There has been a lot of discrimination that a woman faces even outside when they come out in the world. So that has been a major challenge that acts as a very big problem for women, especially when it comes to their mental health. So I would like to ask Lisa, ma'am, if she would like to add on something.
Yes, Yeja has already summarized it really nicely about the challenges that women face. And to be honest, all the challenges are something quite very practical to us, quite very practical where everyone can relate to, right? Talking about occupation, talking about body image issues, and to be honest, like here we are not trying to show that women are something like we are like higher, we have so many issues, or we are just trying to show or inspire everyone, right? Instead of putting men down, we are just making or want to make it equal rather than weighing the scale and just making a kind of advertisement in such way. So we don't need that. And yes, many women, they are going through various challenges right now. They are leaving their jobs. They are going through a lot of changes right after giving birth to a baby. And being a woman, there are different roles that they play, right? Being a daughter, being a daughter-in-law, there are different expectations. So yes, she has summarized it well, really well. So definitely, thanks for that.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So, as we all know, that there are a lot of unrealistic expectations that often leads to affecting the mental health of a woman, which might include pressure from the society or the caregiving responsibilities, as if a woman is a part of a family as well as she's working. So, she has to make sure that she's equally taking care of her child as well as going and equally living up to the expectations of the job she's a part of. So there has been like multiple responsibilities and unrealistic expectations that have set the bars very high for women, which a woman herself might know how she has to juggle between so many things all at once. So I want to ask our speakers further, how can societal factors such as gender stereotype impact women's mental health?
Okay, so I'd like to go forward with this question. So, when we think about societal factors, when we think about any other factors that comes like in the form of challenges, first thing, as Yeja has mentioned, that when a woman gives birth, so see, as it impacts mental health, how it impacts mental health. Taking a case example of women giving birth, so when a woman needs to, manage her work as well as her family, so taking into consideration nuclear, joint family, any family they are staying with it. So right after they join their, workplace, the occupation, they are always basically families, they always try to inject her with such kind of things that you are not taking care of the baby, you're not trying to be a good mother. Certain things are, comments, in such way verbally, in certain actions, people near and dear people, I'm saying, like not every families are the same. So they might try to inject certain kinds of, thoughts, thinking. And literally what happens, women, they try to self-doubt oneself that, am I a good mother? You know, am I, do I love my kids? However, it can be with any form. And right after that, what will happen? It will definitely impact her mental health. The place she used to like working, she will, try to, the commitment will lessen down a bit, you know, and might be she'll totally focus on her kid. One day she'll be in a workplace and she'll just take a leave, half day leave, and she'll go to her home. And, as we already know that postpartum depression is very, very common nowadays. So that is also a really, really high chance that definitely all these things will definitely impact them, impact us, and in every possible way, right? So talking about any kind of factors, what my parents want, what my in-laws want, what other wants, instead of fulfilling their wants, we tend to forget what's ours, like what we want, right? The pressures, the force that we feel inside us, do this, do that, why are you doing that? Certain questions, right? So, it will definitely impact mental health. It can definitely, reduce sleep, appetite. There are various ways. One can be very, they might feel lonely. So, yes. And there are various articles also related to this topic regarding these factors impacting mental health, and really good to see that those articles are like recent 2021, 2019 kind of articles, and they have also written it really well that women do, they go through a lot when, and it definitely impacts their mental health. Yes.
Very beautifully put forward, Lisa ma'am. Thank you so much. As Lisa ma'am has mentioned, a woman belonging to either a joint family or a nuclear family, after all, they are women. So they have a lot of common ground factors and common ground struggles that, like, one is definitely the societal factor of how the society views a woman and their struggles. The other factor that is very essential would be, I feel that, familial expectations, then there are work obligations, then there are a mother's being a parental obligations. So there are multiple obligations that a woman has to be up for. So like Lisa ma'am has more or less covered very beautifully of how there are a lot of articles which actually talks about and brings about the struggles of women and the major societal factors. I would also like to ask Aja ma'am if she wants to add on her point.
I think Lisa has completely, summarized it well. So I completely agree with her point. Like, no matter what is your societal standard, no matter if you come from a joint family, a nuclear family, whatever is this, you have to go through certain societal expectations, certain gender norms and rules that has been created and is in our soil, right? And no matter who you are, if you are born as a woman, then there are a certain expectations that come by birth to you. And at this age, when we are trying our best to be, when we have all the opportunity in the world, irrespective of our gender, it comes like the expectations comes as a certain sort of setback to us. I'm not saying that women should not look after their family, or not should not look after the baby or the kid. That's not we are promoting here. We know how important it is for a kid, the love and the presence of a mother, right? We completely validate and we completely understand that point. But then again, I think that rather than putting a pressure on her to be a good mother, maybe the surrounding, the family can even can level up a little bit and can cooperate and can help her to be a better mother. You know what I'm saying? Not just pressurizing her to be a better mother, like you are not doing this, you're not doing that. Why don't you give a helping hand to the new mother, right? And to the new this thing. So you can like be in a collaborative way. Maybe the family can work in a way like, let's just let the mother-in-law or let the mother take, control of a certain thing, and let the father take control of certain thing. And if we work together as I mean, that's what family and marriage should be, right? They work in a collaborative way, they work in a team, they work as a team. But in reality, we see that when it comes to responsibility of a kid and all this thing, it's always the mother that have to look after, right? So like I said, we are not denying the fact that the importance of a mother and the importance of, you know, the role that mother plays in a kid's life. We completely understand that and we completely validate that. But then again, we are looking for a more collaborative approach, you know, where the family can come together and give helping hand, not just pressurizing the mother to be a better mother, but how can they contribute, you know, for her to be a better mother. So yeah, that's all I have to add.
Very rightfully put. As I feel that in families there has been a lot of division of work when it comes to a male doing this part of the work and a female doing that part of the work. So I feel that in turn affects a woman's life satisfaction, resilience, self-esteem, a lot of mental health factors. And a lot of times women and families, they tend to not pay heed to these mental health factors of a woman, and they are instead pressurized more and more. And also, as we all know, that mental health has become a very big stigma. So a lot of women and families don't even push the woman to actually go and approach a good doctor or go for a mental health professional. So, as we all know, that there are a lot of times where we tend to ignore the early signs of people who are suffering from mental health concerns, and recognizing these signs of someone struggling with their mental well-being is very crucial, so that a proper and timely support and intervention could be provided to them. So, I would also like to ask our speakers, what could be the signs that someone may be struggling with their mental well-being, and how can we support them?
All right, I'll go forward with the answer of this one. Okay. Um, so when it comes to signs and symptoms, it's irrespective of gender. Let's just put it there. Like, you know, it doesn't have to be male, female, nothing like that. Symptoms are irrespective to which gender you belong. It is prevalent and it can be there. It doesn't have to be anything with the gender. But let's see like what are the common symptoms, all right? So when we talk about symptoms, the symptoms are so subtle and so, you know, so how can I say this, how do I put this, it is so subtle that sometimes it's really hard for us to understand, like if a person is going through something. So let's just say like let's just start with the change in mood and behavior. Okay. So whenever someone is going through with their mental health struggle or any sort of mental well-being struggle, the first and foremost thing we always see is the irritability. Okay.
Hmm.
There is this irritability that's present in a person, you know, before maybe before the person reacted in a certain different way, and then now the person is easily irritable, you know. So irritability can be a factor, that can be a factor of, you know, difficulty in concentrating, withdrawal from activities. Let's just say like before the person was too much, I mean not too much, used to engage in a lot of different sort of activities and stuff like that, but now there's a withdrawal. Behaviorally there's a withdrawal from a lot of activities, the kind of activities that, you know, the person used to seek pleasure out of it before, like going to park, doing gardening, traveling and stuff like that. But now the person has withdrawal from certain activities. The second important marker of any mental health challenge or struggle is that we can see there's a change in sleep and appetite. Okay. There's a change in sleeping patterns and there's a change in eating patterns, right? So people can also be very mindful and can be also aware of the fact that does the eating pattern and the sleeping pattern has changed recently, or like from the past 6 months or something like that, right? So that is also something that we can look after. Another thing is that there can be, you know, increased use of substance, alcohol, cigarettes, you know, any sort of different substance just to cope from the situation. Let's just say when someone is going through a hard time, or when someone is going through some sort of struggle mentally, he or she might choose a very unhealthy way to cope, right? So we see a lot of people try to cope through substance. Okay. So alcohol being one of the use, another thing can be nicotine cigarettes, then can be weed, and there can be along different ways, different substances that's present. Now if you move forward with physical symptoms, You can see physical symptoms such as people can experience a lot of unexplained aches and pain. You know, you don't know why you're why why there is a chest pain. You don't know why there is a stomach pain. You don't know why you are having a difficulty in breathing, you know. If you do any sort of scan or any sort of, you know, diagnostically, if you see yourself get scanned, you're not getting any sort of result out of it. Everything, the reports come out to be perfectly positive, I mean, like normal. There's no positive symptom of anything. But then again, you have this pain in the chest, you have this unexplained pain in your abdomen, unexplained pain in your shoulders, or like the upper part of your chest, and then the back and stuff like that. So those unexplained pain and aches can also be symptoms, physical symptoms that you can look after. And apart from that, fatigue can be definitely a very important thing, you know. A lot of people feel a lot fatigue in them, right, you know. So you don't know why you're feeling fatigue. You're getting enough amount of sleep, you're eating fine and everything, but there's a continuous fatigue which is not being explained medically. Okay, so fatigue is something that you need to look up to. And yes, weight is also something that is very that can be a contributor, and that can be something that you can look up to. Sudden unexpected change in weight, you know, either it's weight gain or either it's weight loss. Now if you have a biological condition, let's just say PCOS or any sort of biological condition, then it explains your weight gain or weight losing weight. But then again, if you are biologically, there's nothing, you know, there's nothing abnormal or there's nothing negative in you. But since even after that, if you're losing a lot of weight, if you're gaining a lot of weight and you're not understanding, then I think it's high time for you to look into, take some professional help and look into your mental health. Like what's up there, you know, what's up mentally. There must be wrong something mentally, and that's how, you know, those are manifesting into a physical symptoms in you, right? So I think, Pragya, your another the second part of the question was about support, right?
Right.
Yes.
How can
So
they reach out for support?
yes, how can they can reach out to support? So the first and foremost thing, this is something that I always say to a lot of my friends and a lot of people, and whenever I interact with someone, that
Hmm.
try having this habit of, you know, just asking someone how they are. Just talk. How are you? How have you been? You know, and just showing a genuine concern. It doesn't have to be like just for namesake or something. If you are genuinely interested to give a helping hand to someone, the first and foremost thing is to talk. You know, just asking them, how are you, how are you doing, and like letting the person know that you are there. If they need to speak to you, if there's something they want to speak, you are there, you're all ears, you know. So let's just say if someone is going through something and then you ask that person, how have you been, what's up, and like is there something bothering you, because I can see a change in you. It's like something is definitely bothering you, and if I feel that way. So if the person says no, there's nothing bothering me, then that's something you cannot do. You can't force someone to help, right? If someone is not willing to take help, then you cannot force that person to speak about certain things. So that is fine. But if the person shares, what will you do then? Right. So let's just say someone is going through something very traumatic. There's a lot of violence in it. There's a lot of, you know, a lot of things that you were not ready to take those information. A person, when you were asking how you've been doing, and suddenly the person opened up, he
Hmm.
started ranting in front of you, you know. What can you those sort of information can be a lot for you. You'll be like overwhelmed. Oh my god, I have no idea what the person was going through. There's so much that the person is going through. First and foremost thing is listen to that person without any judgments. Listen to it. You do not have to give any sort of advice. You do not have to give any sort of guidance or like any sort of that. Even listening to someone is also therapeutic. it's also helpful to that person. So just listen without any judgment. Those things that the person is telling you, the other person is telling you, can be very wrong according to your norms and however you looked. In your perspective, the person is telling you something really illegal or something really wrong. But in that case also, for now, just listen to it without any judgment. you know just listen to it, and after that, encourage the person to take professional help. That's the max you can do. Encourage, talk, and let them know that I think you need some professional help. I am there as a friend, I can listen to you, but I cannot help you and to navigate the journey of your mental health, right? I'm always there as a supporter, but I cannot professionally help you. So after listening to them without any judgment, the best thing you can do for anyone is to encourage them to take support, because encourage them to take professional help. Because in our society, no matter how much we are trying to spread awareness about mental health, there's a lot of taboo still. There's a lot of taboo, so people cannot like just go forward with professional help. So there needs to be a lot of encouragement. So I think, yes, from my side, I think I have covered, and this is all I have to share.
This was very informative, ma'am. And I also feel that a lot of times the early signs are neglected and they're misinterpreted to be something else. So, as we all know, that there are a lot of disorders when it comes to psychosis, and it has been misinterpreted by a lot of people, which might be considered more, which might be seen from the lens of more stereotypical view. So I feel that the knowing about the early signs is very, very important, and this could only be done when there has been a lot of awareness. So I feel there has been a wave of mental health now where a lot of people are slowly becoming aware, and especially when, as Lisa ma'am mentioned about postpartum depression. So before, there were a lot of people who did not even know what did depression even mean, but now there has been a wave of mental health where I feel people are slowly becoming aware of what exactly, what could be the signs of disorders. So thank you, Yeja ma'am. You have actually let us know about where exactly we can go to actually seek support. And I would like to ask Lisa ma'am if she wants to add on something to this question.
I think it's fine. Like Aja has covered it all. Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So, we all know, as our today's webinar is circling around to what we actually talk about is adaptability or resilience. So, cultivating resilience is very, very essential for women, which helps them to navigate the various challenges they may encounter in their daily lives, be it building relationships, be it self care, be it familial responsibilities, or even when it comes to women before marriage. So a lot of women have this tag as soon as they are born that, oh, we have to get them married when it's their age. So I feel that stigma should be, looked after, as because there are a lot of women who actually want to work and flourish in their lives as independent women. So I feel marriage shouldn't be a very important factor. So there, even this affects the mental health and also affects the resilience in turn. So I would like to ask our speakers, what could be some practical strategies that women can use to cultivate resilience in their daily lives?
Okay. So I'll be going forward with the question. So, resilience, if someone is not aware about what resilience is basically where you can, bounce back from any challenging situation as fast as or as quickly as possible, right? So, when talking about resilience, if are there any, practical strategies or, any ways to cultivate in our daily life, then I would first say that we need to first believe in ourselves, that that I can do this. I need to believe in myself that if I am here in this surrounding, in this environment, at least I can bring a change, right? So believing in myself is something where I can cultivate or everyone can cultivate to bring change. Second thing, finding purpose. When your life is purposeful, it can become productive. There will be more productivity, more positivity in your life. And when you have a purpose, you have that zeal and zest to work upon it. That I have this purpose, and if it's there on your activity goal or task sheet, however, it is something that every day you can take a step forward to build a good, powerful resilience, like finding purpose in your own life. Second thing, developing a good social network. When we say developing a good social network, yes, we know that we talk with everyone. We are introvert, we are extrovert, we have our own social boundaries. But moreover than that, we have the right, we have the power to choose our own, social agents to whom we can talk, to whom we can share. As Yeja has, she has, talked really good about sharing, asking about what he or what she is going through, right? So without any judgments, so developing that network is very very important, where that bond, that union is there, where everyone actually knows or has a kind of powerful team, to be honest, where everyone talks about or discusses about something important, or as as a kind of support. And the next would be, being optimistic, you know, like nowadays people talk about being affirmative, using affirming quotes, right? Those are very, trending right now, and definitely it works, right? Being optimistic is one of the thing that one can think about, thinking positive, right? So when we are optimistic, it is definitely that we can be resilient enough, we can bounce back to our current situation. And we are not saying that like giving birth is the highest, like highest level of we can say highest level of pain, highest level of everyone, every situation, every challenges has its own intensity and frequency. So we are not trying to rate it. We are just trying to see what are the challenges, what we can do with it, or how we can come out from that situation, to be honest, rather than rating it. We usually do in our social growth, might be, I have also done, and like I also did when I was a teenager, might be, it's like, my problem is very important, it's very huge, than yours, right? This is one of the thing that we always do, which we should not do. We are not rating here. uh, for second thing, then I would say that nurturing oneself, we need to nurture oneself so that we personally grow, so that we are able to bounce back to that current situation in a stronger version, right? And talking about all these things, I think maintaining a good diet, yeah, nutrition, food, everything, sleep, these are certain other factors which will definitely help in, bouncing back or being or being a resilient woman, right? And yes, we can also talk about establishing problem solving skills, like how one can help with dealing with certain problems, pros and cons, however one can solve the issues or with the solution or dealing with it, right? So these are the important things or important strategies from my side, where one can use it or one can strategize it in order to cultivate in resilient, right? So, yes, I think we have a question with us. So, Pragya, can you just.
Sure. So the question says that what about tackling about the expectations from women before marriage? Why is it expected that almost all the women have to get married, become mothers? Is it a problem to be addressed at the nib bud? So I would like any of our speakers to answer the question.
I'll go forward with that. I think it's a I think it's a very relevant question, and with age, this is something that all the women and all the young adult women goes through. The topic of marriage at home, when a woman has become a rightful age, let's say, you know so but one should also understand where is this concept coming from, right? It's a historical traditional norm that by a certain age, women should be married, right? And should look up to a family, and should be, should start her own family, right? But then, if we look into the future, and if we look into in a futuristic manner, let's just say you're really not ready to get married and you got married, okay? Then you become an unhappy wife, firstly. Then say you got pregnant and you got a baby. Now with unhappy wife, you're even an unhappy mother, because I'm pretty sure when you were if you were not ready to be a wife, you're not ready to be a woman, to be a mother as well, right? So along with unhappy wife, now you are an unhappy mother. Now, when you become an unhappy mother, what are you exactly giving to your kid? Someone whom you brought into this world. What are you giving to that person, to the new little being, right? So I think it is very, 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 very important for both men and women to understand. Marriage is, yes, it is about age. Our genetics do play a role. After a certain age, our eggs and our fertility health starts to decrease. We are well aware of that. But there are also ways how you can tackle it. Freeze your egg, right? Go through different ways how you can prevent your fertility health, right? So what is the main, like, whenever we talk about marriage at home, and like someone is whenever I heard any discussion about marriage, it's always like you are of age now, later there would be a problem in conceiving and having a healthy baby and stuff like that, right? That's what the whole concept of marriage and getting married early is about. What about we can save our eggs, and what about we can take care of our fertility health from beforehand, so when we are mentally physically ready to be a mother and to be a wife, then only we pursue to be one. And then we are a happy wife, we are a happy mother, we are giving so much that we have, right? I'm not saying that no, not every woman is unhappy in marriage. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying from a point of view where you are forced to be married. So my only not advice, but my only opinion on this question from my perspective is that you have your own life in your hand, and you have to take responsibility of your life to the max, right? Just because your parents are forcing you, just because your boyfriend is forcing you, your partner is forcing you to be married, it is not something, it is non-negotiable for, like, it should be non-negotiable for you to be married or to come into marriage by force, you know because when you are in that union, there's a lot of other factors that comes in as well. You should be aware of that, right? You're not just a wife, you are a daughter-in-law, and you are introducing yourself to a new family, right? So the only thing I would say is that women should know how to take care of their reproductive health, firstly. Secondly, women should know that there's a great responsibility that comes with marriage, and one should only marry when he or she, both men and for it's irrespective of gender. Men and women should only marry when they are mentally and physically and even financially they're ready to start a life. Because we know right after marriage, after, let's just say, after 1 year or 2 year, there is definitely going to be there you are definitely going to conceive. And not every mother has the courage to abort, or to, let's just say, to not think about kid. Once you conceive, you definitely want to take care of the child, right? But before taking care, we say that thing, right? When we are when we are in flight, if there's a turbulence, we put on our mask first, we make sure that we are safe, right? That then we go to help other people, we put our life jacket first. So when a woman is at her fullest potential, there is so much for you to give as a wife, as a mother, and so much to contribute for that little being that you're bringing into this world. And it's equally important for the male, and for the husband or the partner should also be to understand this part as well. It's not always the women's duty to look after the kid and to look after the baby. Men should also understand this part, that it is equally important for them to be present for their kid, you know. So yes, my thank you for this question. And like, the only answer is this: marry only when you are mentally, physically, and financially ready. And if you don't want to marry, that is also fine.
Thank you so much, ma'am. You have so rightfully put. And I feel in our society, a woman should be allowed to finally take their decisions for their life instead of being imposed on. So that is a very big factor where even if a woman doesn't want to get married for their life, it's their decision after all. So I feel Yeja ma'am has really beautifully put it forward. I would also thank Lisa ma'am to enlighten us with the strategies that women can cultivate when it comes to resilience in their daily lives. So, with this, we come to an end of our webinar where we are incredibly grateful to our esteemed speakers for the invaluable insights and expertise shared during this webinar on cultivating resilience, building mental well being in women. Their profound perspective have illuminated the importance of cultivating resilience and also increased the importance of Women's Day in navigating the multifaceted challenges that are faced by women in today's world. I also thank our viewers and also people who have participated in the webinar. We really appreciate and thank you. As we conclude, let us carry forward the knowledge gained and the inspiration ignited, empowering ourselves and others to foster resilience, overcome obstacles, and flourish in every aspect of our life. Together, let us continue to build a more resilient and supportive future for all. Remember, you're never alone on your journey towards better mental health. Reach out to us for support and guidance through our Instagram page, that code psychspace_07. We are here for you for your every step of the way. And I also wish everyone a very happy International Women's Day. Thank you so
Yes.
much.
Very
Yes.
happy International Women's Day to all of you, as well
Yes.
as.
Very happy International Women's Day to all our viewers. And yes, let's take care of our mental health. And we as Psychspace, we are always there, one DM away, one message away. You can visit our Instagram page, and you can let us know how, if you are in need of any support, or if you feel that someone you know needs support. We are available in person and also virtually, to give any sort of, guidance or help, or any sort of this thing. So yes, thank you so much, Pragya, for amazingly moderating the session. Sorry. And yeah, happy Women's Day. Yes, thank you so
Yes,
much.
Pragya, thank you. You have been really great in moderating today.
Thank you so much,
And
ma'am.
thank you, Adya, also for the question. It's a really
Yes,
important question, to be honest. Yes.
yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you.
Good
Good night.
night.
Yes.
Good night.